for nearly 50 years, the identity of a well-dressed man who tragically died at a London Underground station remains a mystery. Now the clock is ticking on what could be the final chance to unveil the truth. On the morning of Thursday, May the 8th, 1975, tragedy struck at Mile End Station in East London. A man in his 40s or 50s, approximately 6 foot tall, with receding black hair, lost his life to a train. He was clean shaven, white, European, and was possibly wearing false upper teeth. This man had some reasonably valuable possessions and dressed with some distinction, sporting smart blue trousers, a light blue shirt and a navy blue blazer adorned with distinctive yellow buttons from Burton. Underneath, he had a white vest, white front underpants, long grey socks and smart black leather lace-up shoes in size 7 from Moss Bros. A more in-depth description of the gentleman is as follows. He was aged in his 40s or 50s at the time of his death and therefore today would be in his 90s, having been born in the 1920s or 30s. He was approximately 6 foot 2 or 183 centimetres. He was white, European. His hair was black and receding. He was clean shaven and very well presented. And he had false teeth, possibly only the upper teeth. Possessions on his person that morning was a Tudor oyster watch with the model reference 7804 and the serial number 86414, dating from the 1940s or 50s. The watch on screen is not the actual watch and we don't know the exact dial colour, so this is literally just an example. He was also carrying a metal Ronson Veriflame lighter like the one on screen now. And more interestingly, he had a pen engraved with PTL Motors Western Road E17. Now, there are some questions to consider that the National Crime Agency would like to know. Mile End Man would have been aged around 90 now. So please think about who you could pass these questions on to and share them with your family or friends, especially if they originate from that area. Do you recognise or know about any emblem or branding of PTL Motors Western Road E17? Have you or anyone that you know ever dealt or had a connection to PTL Motors in Walthamstow? Were you acquainted with someone who worked in garages around the Walthamstow area during the 1970s? Were you part of the underground network or employed at Mile End Station in the 1970s? Alternatively, did you witness any incidents there during that time? And did you know someone who owned a metal Ronson Veriflame lighter, although they were quite common back in the day? Did you have relatives or friends who were involved in this area during the 1970s? And did anyone you know ever have any ties to individuals who might have frequented Mile End during the 1970s? And have you heard any stories or anecdotes from friends or family about an unidentified man who matches the description provided and who owned a Tudor watch? Now, from a watch perspective, I suspect that this watch was possibly, and I say possibly, could have been given to this gentleman maybe by his father. I believe the watch to date from the 1940s or 1950s. This gentleman died in 1975, so that would kind of tie up and make a little bit of sense, but as I say, it's just a theory. And indeed, if you are an older watch dealer, or indeed if you owned a Tudor watch back in the day, is it possible that you could check to see if you have a match anywhere for Tudor model reference 7804, serial number 86414? And even after all these years, the National Crime Agency are still keen to solve this long-term mystery. If you have any information that you think might be useful, I'll pop the details up on screen now, where you can contact an organisation anonymously with your information. And you can also view this case directly on the National Crime Agency website, the link on screen now.